Hey, welcome to the Shop Talk area, sponsored by ISS and Ink Kitchen. Ink Kitchen, if you don't know, is a website and other media with information by decorators for decorators. Most of it's even true, so you should check it out, and it's free. How's that? So we kind of redid this area, and we have not had professional speakers. Instead, we have professionals in the field coming by, not giving some big dog and pony show, more of like saying what they really know from what they do day in and day out. And then after a short talk, they're around to answer questions. We'll do some public questions, and then if you're the shy type, you can corner Megan and either here or in her Bella+Canvas booth and answer questions there, or ask questions there. So we'll be here till Sunday, pretty much every half hour. We got Ray talking about sublimation tomorrow. We got Maria talking about dye migration today and discharge printing tomorrow. She's got a big shop here in Los Angeles and one in Mexico. And so with no further ado, this is Megan Spire, who's from Bella+Canvas.
Hi, guys.
And she's going to talk about the sort of shift in the industry. So some of these things are specific and some are visionary. This is more like a vision of what is happening now and what is going to happen according to Megan.
Exactly. So when I was invited to participate, it was pretty clear to me that the most relevant topic would be around this what we call the big shift, this conversion. When you look at the apparel category, there's really two major pieces. You've got trade basics, which our industry is saturated with. If you think about a lot of carded open end, price point basic tees. And then you've got the combed and ring spun soft fashion category. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that the fashion category is the second largest in our industry, and it's the fastest growing. And that's why I think it's something that we should be talking about. There should be a dialogue, because it will impact each and every one of you. When I first started with Bella+Canvas almost 8 years ago, we had launched what we called the No COE campaign, and it was in an effort to really spark the dialogue and have a conversation and educate the industry on what it meant to invest in a higher quality product. But I think we were a little ahead of our time back then, and now we're seeing that major shift happen. And based on all of the growth that we can see, not only at Bella+Canvas, but with other fashion brands in this space, is we're estimating that about 100 to 120 million garments units per year are converting out of trade basics into that fashion space. And I think that when you talk about the fashion category, you've got tri-blends and heathers and polyviscose and delicate fabrics that require a different approach to printing and to decorating. And sometimes that can be a little intimidating if you're not used to working with those types of fabrics. And so I think speaking to the relevance and, again, this shift that we see taking place, I think there's a couple of things fueling that conversion. The first is just an increased awareness around product to brand alignment. So think about whoever is receiving that finished product. Does that finished product speak to and align to that recipient, whether it be branded merchandise for a giveaway, if it's a promotional piece, or is it for a university, for a marathon? Who's ending up with that t-shirt? Does it make sense for their organization, for their cause? Really making sure that those products, they align together. Given the trade basics category being so saturated, there is commoditization that has occurred. And so there's an increased need to differentiate in the industry and make sure that you are really a part of this conversion and that you are recommending to your customers premium solutions. And a third, and I think one of the biggest drivers for this conversion, is the millennial influence. I think millennial has become somewhat of a buzz term nowadays, but it has had a major impact. In 2017, the Fashion Institute of Technology put out a report that said that millennials, they look for the trust loop. And the trust loop means that they are researching brands and products that they're working with to make sure that it aligns with their own core values. And so what we have found at Bella+Canvas is that customers are looking for an attachment to a brand. That brand story has become increasingly important. If you think about millennials, they grew up in the age of technology, being able to go online online and research whatever it is they want to know about a company or an organization. Most companies nowadays, when you go online, have their own corporate responsibility messaging, no matter what industry you're in. And so millennials have that expectation that they want to know more about the brands that they're working with and align their own printed merchandise with a company that has those same core values. You've seen the success outside of our industry. Look at Tom's Shoes or Warby Parker that have messaging around the good that they do in their communities, their impact on the world. And so at Bella+Canvas, for us specifically, we've looked to really tell the story about our supply chain and corporate responsibility, and that's resonated with customers. So think about that as you work with your own clients and being able to tell that brand story. Millennials also, they're very, it's all about experiences. And so what we have found is that millennials are looking to, if you look at their spending habits, in fact, they spend a lot of their income on experiences, whether it be music festivals and things of that nature. And so when they're producing or buying merchandise, they want it to create a feeling. And so think about that T-shirt that you're printing on. Is that garment that someone wants to wear again and again? Is it going to become their favorite T-shirt? If you print on something soft and something comfortable, that's you're creating that experience for that recipient. And then lastly, when it comes to millennials, they place a high value, a high importance on value. And so if you think about the cost per impression, as you look to make that jump, maybe that you haven't dabbled in the fashion premium space yet, and you're looking at the cost of a unit, and it's $1 more. Having that conversation with your customer can be a challenging one if they've got a specific budget that they're sticking to. But if you can walk them through that cost per impression, it's very powerful. Maybe it seems like it's $1 more up front, but if you print on something soft, something on trend, something they would buy for themselves at a retail store, it's going to be worn 100 times, 1,000 times more. And so that cost per impression actually goes down and becomes much more affordable compared to that trade basic that maybe gets worn once or twice before it ends up in the back of someone's drawer.
Yeah, we say, I usually tell customers, you want someone to wear it every week or two, or do you want them to wash their hubcaps with it?
Exactly. And it really boils down to just that. And so we've seen this major conversion happen. We've also seen the relevance of social media play a big role in this conversion. If you think about the way that you're connecting with your clients, sending them maybe a PDF attachment isn't necessarily going to check that box for these young buyers. I think what many people don't realize is that millennials actually make up the largest demographic of buyers in our industry. And so we need to make sure that we're selling to them in the way that they want to absorb information. They're on their feed late at night, going through Instagram. 90% of millennials are on Facebook, and so making sure that you as an organization, you as a company, have a strong digital presence, and that you're reaching out to your customers in the same way, in the way that they want to receive an information. And so I guess just as we look at the category and the shift that's happening, there is increased importance to remain differentiated and to sell a different type of product, and to make sure that you are a part of this conversion that we see taking place. It's an exciting opportunity to continue to drive it and to be a part of the shift.
So you lose sleep at night worrying that this fashion thing will now be a commodity and that the prices will plummet, or do you think that this is going to hold for a while?
I think that the more that we can teach our customers to sell on value rather than on price, it'll prevent commoditization from happening. Millennials place a high importance on differentiation, and so I think that we've got a couple more years of really strong growth in our future. It's a really exciting time to be a part of the industry.
So, besides the fact that it is going to fashion, what in particular are the fashions that are, you see happening in the next year or two that seem to be trends?
For Bella+Canvas specifically, fleece is one of our biggest focuses for 2019. If you take a look at, we do extreme research and development, and if you take a look at what's happening at Runway, what's happening at retail, we're seeing fashion fleece all over the place. And we see streetwear brands partnering with luxury labels to develop really cool, crisp streetwear. And that means that our industry, it's got a lasting impression for our industry. And so I think that fleece is going to be a major trend for us, not just t-shirts, which is obviously our bread and butter, but I think you'll see more color, more silhouettes, and just fleece as a year-round blank go-to rather than seasonal, which I think we've considered it pretty seasonal before. And then color is going to be huge. We saw the trend with millennial pink. We had a lot of success with mauve and peach, and so we've continued to develop colors that align with that kind of younger demographic. So color and fleece are, I think, things to look out for.
Do we have some questions out there about fashion or where trends are? Any questions?
I already saw your Instagram post.
If you guys want to be horrified, so I went to Bella+Canvas presentation in Las Vegas at the PPAI show, and I was a bit shocked to hear that crop tops have returned, and the term was appropriate crops, and well, this got us work. That's an appropriate crop. An inappropriate crop will kill this trend, and if you look at our Instagram, Casey and I posed with the aid of Photoshop in inappropriate crops, and check our Instagram feed. It's, well, you won't be able to unsee it.
To be clear, you should wear crop tops with high-waisted jeans, high-waisted leggings. That it's the 90s coming back around.
I don't think you want us doing that either.
We see trends recycle, and the 90s are kind of the trend of the moment, and crop tops have become extremely relevant. So as you pitch your customers, I mean, that basic tee is always going to be there, but I say, lead with something differentiated, whether it be through fabric or through silhouette.
I think also you do have to get out of your own comfort space, and you can't make what you like. You have to, trust certain vendors that they actually know what people want. Because, I wasn't predicting the crop top thing really, but now I'm all about it.
And I think asking a lot of questions, making sure you're asking your customers the right questions. What is this T-shirt intended for? What's the goal? If it's promotional versus if it's more brand awareness, is it something for someone's going to keep forever and ever because of they got it at their favorite concert, or that good old college sweatshirt. Asking those questions to make sure you're pitching the right product for whatever that T-shirt is intended for.
I would almost guarantee you'll go out of business if all you want to print is 18 singles open-end T-shirts. Though, I mean, it would seem like a lot of people were holding on to that. That is not going to happen. If we meet a lot of people that are trying to figure out printing on some of these difficult fabrics. A lot of the companies like yours and Hanes and some others are actually trying to make products that are printable, but some other folks aren't. And my buddy Brian here works at Rutland. He tears out his hair trying to help people figure out how to print a lot of these products. And you know what? A lot of people don't want to, but you know what? Too bad. You're going to have to, because that's what people want. And you can't just use one kind of ink or one kind of process. You're going to have to know how to use transfers. You're going to pad printing. You're going to have to use all kind of dye migration, and stopping inks, etc.
Making sure as you get into the premium fashion space, that you're doing those types of decoration techniques that make sense for those types of fabrics. You don't want to take a 40 single tri-blend that's super lightweight and drapey and put a 2-color plastisol print on there, because then the type of ink and the decoration doesn't align with the blank itself. So that's really important as well. But to your point, the premium space really is the future. And so I think it's important that we have that dialogue around the different techniques and fabrics and the category as a whole.
Premium garments, premium printing, right?
Exactly.
Premium decoration. Other questions? All right. Megan will stay around and answer your questions for all you shy types, and she'll be at her Bella+Canvas booth through Sunday, or till tomorrow anyway. So thanks. We got some more talks coming up today, all day tomorrow, Sunday. I want to thank the sponsors again, ThreadX, Haynes, Champion, Alternative, all the people you hate, and Hirsch Solutions. Thanks.
Thanks so much.